This is my ultra crazy conspiracy theory. Now, guys, if you're not into crazy conspiracy theories, or you're not into or believe in the whole lizard people thing, then skip this video. But upon the last few years, I've been noticing a lot of interesting things going on with state forests, right? People missing. More and more people are missing in the national forest out here in the country. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know here we have an alarmingly high rate of people gone missing. A lot of these people who have gone missing they went missing under insane circumstances. And over the years, reading about some of these stories, I'm like, okay, something definitely doesn't make any sense. But then you got this guy that did the 411 missing, or missing 411, right? He's the guy that sort of like, opened the can of worms, if you will, in regards to people going on hikes in the United States and just gone missing. Now, a lot of people, especially in rural areas, you could sort of chalk that up to them being lost. But the problem with being lost is that a lot of these people are never found. And when some of these people are never found, you're trying to figure out where the hell they go or how deep in the woods did they go, especially when there's a trail. Normally, guys, you follow the trail. You're going to go deeper in the forest or you're going to come out, but you're not going to go off trail by chance of finding something on your way out. Most people don't. Most people stick to the trail. That's why a lot of people who are found, especially if they're found, dead, they're found right off the trail. Not too far, sometimes in a tent, sometimes just laying out in the elements because of the hypothermia or whatever that set in. But the way some of the people go missing is very interesting. And I say interesting because I don't know what other words to use, but I'll use a couple examples. A kid who went missing on a trail with his family. I think the kid was something like 20, 30 feet ahead. They turned a bend from a rock. There's a rock in the way. Obviously, the kid goes around the bend, and the father's telling the kid, come back. He walks up a little further, and the kid is completely gone. It's silent. There's no rustling. There's no feet, nothing. No cries, no murmur, anything. And so with that, that's a red flag. How do you go around the bend only a few seconds later to find that your kid is completely gone? And now, of course, they think that the kid fell into a hole or a mine. So they have a search party. They look for this kid. They do not find this kid at all. Nowhere in the vicinity of where he was gone. Now, I think the kid was like 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. Little legs, small kid. Couldn't have gone too far. Don't find him. They wind up finding his body on a mountain, something like a few hundred miles away. And obviously, I guess on a mountain, he could have accessed it, but a kid wouldn't have walked that far, that fast, got that high up, and then just died. So they wind up finding this kid's body in the mountain. All right. A couple of other of the people who went missing in the forest, this is where the red flag really started to get me. And I'm like, it has to be the lizard people. Because people who have went missing, their clothes were found neatly folded on a rock, tree stump, or whatever it is, just there. No body in sight, no footprints, no tracking mark. Some of these people had the best trackers on them, and even the best trackers in the world couldn't track these people. And when you have that going on, that means that something else is amiss. So now, back to the lizard people, there is a theory that they live underground. But they live, their colony, if you will, their main hub, I don't know how you want to call it, is in Yellowstone. That's the base. Now, their tunnels stretch out for thousands of miles across the country, more of those tunnels reaching out to the west and the Midwest. I think only one tunnel goes as far as, I think, Tennessee. I could be wrong. Alabama, Tennessee, one of those two states, it reaches out there. Nothing really reaches here in the Northeast. I don't know if it's because of the Rocky Mountains or whatever it is. Nonetheless, or the Appalachian Mountains, excuse me, or whatever it is. But there's not much. There's not any that actually reach over here. But when you look at this map, this lizard people map, you're like, that's interesting. And the majority of missing people are right where the map is, where the map of those tunnels are. Excuse me, all over the national parks, all over the country. Now, when people go missing, guys, and they are only a couple of feet ahead or behind somebody, and they're completely gone, no trace, and then they find their folded clothes probably a few thousand feet away, a few thousand yards away, and then they find folded clothes but no trace of them. I mean, when I'm talking about folded clothes, I'm talking about their cell phone, eyeglasses, everything that the, I guess, lizard people can't use are neatly placed on their clothes as well. That is a red flag. Now, some people, if initially when I heard the first story, I was like, kids don't neatly fold their clothes like that. No kid in the world does. They drop the shit and then they do what they do. This was neatly closed. If I'm not mistaken, the kid on the mountain, I think his clothes were neatly folded a few miles away from where he went missing. Other people, one kid, I remember specifically, she was taking pictures, and she borrowed her grandfather's camera, and she went up ahead and onto like a ridge, and then on this ridge, which wasn't very high, by the way, she could see everybody that she was camping with, and the grandfather was right behind her. So she runs ahead to go to the ridge. He's walking behind her, and she's gone. He's like, I'm not yelling her name at first, stating her name, like, Sarah, whatever it is, and no reply. And then he looks over the bottom and sees if she fell, and he doesn't see anything. He asks the campers, the family members, hey, did you see Sarah? And they don't see Sarah. I'm making that name up, by the way. Well, I don't see Sarah. And then now they go into full-blown panic. They're like, where the hell is she? So they start looking for her. They don't find her. They don't ever find her, actually. So, again, a lot of these people were never found. Some of these people were found, and they were found thousands of miles away. Again, all within the same vicinity of the underground lizard people tunnels. Again, I'm more inclined to believe these people, or this race of people, are real. I think these are the demons that they're talking about. I don't think they were aliens. I think they were from another time, another dimension, whatever it was. They found themselves here where there's plenty of food. Us. Now, that whole TV show V was probably relating to that. Not probably, most likely relating to that. The scientists that recently went missing, they were all working on top secret technology. I think they were working on something that related to them, and now they've gone missing. Now, one scientist, an older scientist, she went missing, and she was only 30 feet behind her guide, or whoever she was hiking with. 30 feet. That's not long. He said he was walking. He turned around to see where she was as they were exiting the trail, and she was gone. Completely gone. He goes back. He scours the area. She is gone. Nowhere to be seen. No footprints. No anything. And I don't know if he was a tracker or not. Nonetheless, he couldn't find her. So again, guys, all of this is, I find, very interesting. Definitely related to lizard people. Every year, if I'm not mistaken, there's something like 200 people that go missing in the woods. And then out of that 200, I think like 20% of them are never found, or something like that. Something in those regards. And again, how do these people go missing when you're on a trail? Now, if you're bushwhacking, that's an entirely different ballgame. You can absolutely get lost and never be found, especially if you step off trail. Now, bushwhacking is when you step off trail and you're making your own path, or as some people call it, pathfinders, right? You're making your own path, and you're like, all right, this trail is old. Let's go find what's this way. And then they step off the path and they walk, and a lot of the times you could definitely get lost. Now, a lot of these people who have gone missing, here's the kicker. They were seasoned hikers, knew the area, had maps and compasses, and somehow went missing. This is, again, another red flag. So the whole crazy conspiracy theory of the lizard people, I'm starting to believe more and more every day. Not starting to, I believe they are real. I'm just believing more and more every day that they are starting to, wanting to, I guess, join the race, because now you're hearing more talks of hybrid humans. They say that it's aliens. I don't think it's aliens. I think it's lizard people mating with us or raping us, whatever it is, and having these hybrid humans that can stay topside. Because for some reason, they can't stay topside too long, and it's not because of the way they look. I think there's something wrong with our air, something in that regards. That's why there was also a prevailing theory that climate change and the heat going up is for them and not us, is so that they can finally come topside. Anyway, nonetheless, guys, this is just a theory. It's a crazy theory of mine. You can definitely disagree wholeheartedly in the comment section, whatever you want to do. But I find that these disappearances, the lizard people tunnel, where the people are going missing, all related in the same area where those tunnels are. The fact, guys, that they're talking about more hybrid humans, the fact that now you have more politicians talking about the aliens are actually demons. Now, I think that these lizard people do move through dimension and time. I think they have the capabilities of doing that. I think that they can move to whatever time they want. They can move to whatever dimension they want. And that's how they keep themselves across the span with different timelines. I think that's why sometimes we see these time glitches that a lot of people are starting to experience more and more of, is because they're moving something around, or they did something in the past that changed some shit. I think that's why we have something called the butterfly effect, or the Mandela effect, excuse me. And I think that has something to do with them changing some shit in the past. Something minor that they thought wasn't going to be noticed, but a lot of people notice now, because we're looking at things going, I remember this situation being exactly this way, and then come to find out, we Google it and it's not, but we all remember this, and then you get with a bunch of people who remember that. I think that's them fucking with the timeline. Again, crazy conspiracy theory. You don't have to follow me on this one. This is just something that I'm coming to the conclusion, slowly coming to the conclusion, that there's a lot more with this lizard people, demon things that they're trying to tell us than meets the eye. And I definitely think, guys, that the aliens are real. I think these are the demons they're talking about. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.